For the Love of Toast, written and read by Bettina Levy. All of my friends had left me. Alone, so alone. I sat quietly in my home of plastic, all by myself. I sighed. If only I could talk to someone, anyone. I didn't know where the rest of my kin had gone off to. No one who left the bag ever came back. It was quite a mystery to me. What happened to them when they left? Being on the bottom may not have been a fun position to be in, but at least I'd had company then. How I missed that friendly wait. Oh, the life of a lonely piece of white bread. The most I could do was wait. And wait. For what? I didn't know. The only other thing I could think to do was to, think. I like to think a lot. I bet you didn't know that bread likes to think. I pondered the big questions. Why am I here? Why do I exist? Why was I made to be a slice of white Wonder Bread? What was going to happen to me next? Suddenly, I sensed movement. My seemingly safe, secure walls of plastic rippled and crackled. The ceiling opened up, and a great, pink, meaty monster reached down toward me. Was this what had happened to all my friends? I had never been able to see or hear what had gone on, because they'd all been piled on top of me. The creature grabbed hold of me and lifted me up, leaving the ground far behind. Higher and higher I went. Oh, the horror! But at the same time, what a feeling! I could finally see the larger world that was outside my humble home. It was much bigger than I could have imagined. Not to mention stranger. I saw all kinds of things. There was an enormous white rectangle-shaped mountain decorated with images. Large metallic things hanging from the ceiling. Lots of containers and jugs of things on shelves. But my view didn't last very long. I was lowered into a new place. I looked down and saw a small silver box with 2 long slits in it. The slits seemed to be just my size. The meaty thing that held me stuck me into one of those trenches, and there I stood, upright. That was weird for me, because I was more used to lying down. Yeast above, what had just happened? I waited, and waited some more. The minutes ticked by. I grew nervous. This waiting was very different from when I'd waited in my plastic home. We bread slices don't have the greatest grip on time. I had no idea how long I'd been waiting for something to happen. Something different. Anything different. Now things had started happening, really fast, and just as suddenly, they had stopped. Was that all? Something else had to happen. It had to. This couldn't be the end. If it was, then what a short adventure. So, I thought, was this strange box going to be my new home? It was all right, I guess. Cozy. Just then, I looked and saw the other bread-sized slot right across from me get filled. She was like nothing I had ever seen in my short life as a slice of white bread. Warm, dark skin. Tiny, delicate seeds of grain scattered throughout her body. A lovely, curvy shape. The smell of aromatic spices. She was absolutely gorgeous. A dream come true. At first, she looked alarmed, but when she saw me, she gave me a shy smile. I cleared my throat. Gotta act cool in front of the lady. So, do you come here often? The delicious-looking slice giggled. No, do you? I chuckled. Not exactly. What's your name? Oh, I'm Pumpernickel, but you can call me Nikki. Ah, Pumpernickel. What a sweet, exotic name indeed for a rare beauty such as herself. Wow, that is such a beautiful name, I told her. I felt so plain, such a square compared to her. I'm Dwight Wonder Bread. She giggled again. Nice to meet you, Dwight. That's a nice name too. I didn't know how she felt right then, but for me, it was love at first sight. The next thing I knew, I felt the floor drop out from under me. I fell down a little way with an unexpected bump. Nikki and I both screamed in shock. We gasped, catching our breath from the sudden ordeal. I thought I heard a mysterious ticking noise. Nikki, are you all right? I cried out. Yes, Dwight, I think I'm fine. Phew, that was quite a surprise, wasn't it? I hope it doesn't happen again. Yeah, me neither. All I could see now was the dark inner walls of the silver box. It was very small and cramped. I worried about sweet Pumpernickel. You don't happen to be claustrophobic, do you, Nikki? I asked in concern. She laughed at that. What a fantastic laugh she had. Lifted my spirits in an instant. No, I'm nothing of the kind. Aha, that's good. Well, if you do happen to feel scared, just remember that I'm right here beside you. Aw, that's so sweet of you, Dwight. Though I couldn't see her, I could tell by her voice that she was smiling. The ticking noise seemed to get louder and louder. Quickly I noticed the walls of our box growing more and more red. At the same time, I felt the air becoming warmer and warmer in there. Wow, quite a heat wave in here, isn't it, Dwight? Indeed, I agreed with her. The heat, it was beginning to be too much for me. I coughed uncomfortably. There was a pause. Then I heard my love's voice again. Dwight, what do you think is going to happen to us? I'm afraid. I was feeling quite nervous myself. Would it get so terribly hot that we would get burned to crisps? I quaked at the very thought, but I couldn't show my fear to Nikki. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think as long as we're together, everything will be fine. Nikki sighed. I hope you're right. Finally, just when I thought I couldn't stand the burning heat for much longer, things happened all at once. I heard a sharp... The floor shifted beneath me again, only this time upward. I flew high into the air and saw Pumpernickel pop up beside me. Whee! She shouted happily. I'm flying! She was flying, like a dark, wonderful angel. The heat seemed to have made her all the darker, and her smell had grown stronger. She was, impossibly, more beautiful than I'd remembered, even from only a few minutes ago. As quickly as we'd achieved flight, we began to fall. Oh, the curse of gravity. Something smooth, cool, and white caught us. A large, round disc of some sort. We landed one after the other. Nikki was first. I fell right on top of her. Oh, why, hello there, she said awkwardly, but with a smile. I laughed nervously. Hi, sorry. I hope you don't mind this. Usually I'm on the bottom. Is that so? I was at the top of my bag, but it's okay. If it's you, I don't mind at all. Haha, that's good to know. Pumpernickel gave another giggle. Hey, you just got an awesome tan. Did you know that? Looks hot. Really? Thanks! I didn't even notice. It was true. I hadn't. Suddenly, I heard loud noises coming from right next to us. Chop, chop, chop. Then the screaming. Terrible, piercing screaming. Oh my goodness! Dwight, can you see what's happening? Unfortunately, I could. A round, ripe red tomato was lying not 2 feet away from us. I saw a huge, shiny knife repeatedly slicing him, cutting him to bits. It was horrible, his guts all spilling out of him. I could do absolutely nothing but watch. That poor, poor soul. And what do you think was holding the knife? That big, meaty, monstrous thing that had taken me from my plastic home in the first place. The hand that had tried to turn Nikki and I to toast in that horrible heat box. I suddenly realized the truth. That creature was no good. If I hadn't been scared at any other point today, I was sure scared now. Pumpernickel, in case we don't make it through this, I have to tell you something. She made a frightened whimpering sound. Yes, Dwight? Nikki, But I didn't get to finish my sentence. The evil thing pulled me off of Nikki, flipping me over onto my back. I stared at the ceiling again, terrified. At that moment, another knife, smaller than the one that had killed the tomato, came into my range of vision, coming right at me. Oh no, was I going to get sliced up too? Nope. Instead of cutting me, the knife spread some thick, white, gooey stuff on me, all over my face. How humiliating. Blah! Quit it! Get it out! I yelled at the big meaty thing, but it didn't seem to hear me. When it was done with me, it started in on Nikki. I heard her cry out in utter disgust. Stop that! You leave her alone, you big bully! But it was deaf to my every plea. Because of the white stuff, I could no longer see very well. I suddenly felt myself lifted up and placed face down on something cold and slimy. I didn't want to think it, but somehow I knew I was resting on the remains of the poor, murdered tomato. The hand pushed down on my back, squished me, tried to flatten me. I screamed as my face pressed into the parts of the ex-tomato, absolutely terrified. The pressure lifted. I felt the ground move from beneath me. We were being carried on that large white disc, being taken somewhere. I didn't know where. I no longer cared. "Dwight, I want to say something to you too," said Nikki, her voice clearly panicked. "Something really important." "I don't think we'll have enough time." "Let's say it together," I yelled desperately. "Okay," she cried. Not one, but two meaty monsters picked us up, lifted us slowly, carefully, almost like it was trying to savor the moment, give us more time, but I knew that our time was up. "Nikki! Dwight!" I saw a tunnel up ahead. It looked dark and very, very wet. "I love you!"
Hey everyone, my name is Bettina, and that was For the Love of Toast. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that story unfold as I did in making it come to life. The story I wrote many years ago, and it's really thanks to my sister. I was stuck on writing, I didn't know what to write, and she suggested 2 prompts for me. She said, either write a story about a sentient pencil, I believe, or write a story about a sentient piece of bread. Obviously, I went with the latter one, and the romantic tragedy of Dwight and Nikki were born. Everyone I share this story with says they'll never look at making a sandwich the same way again, or eating one for that matter. So I've always secretly wanted to make an animated movie of this story, but I never really knew how. But now I've been getting better at video editing, so I'm really proud that I was able to make that little dream a reality. This is a great story, I think, for this month. It's a little scary and spooky and stuff. I'm going to try and make these videos every Wednesday, these reading videos, so I hope you'll stay tuned for my next one. And remember, don't play with your food. Okay. See you guys. Bettina out.